Good evening and welcome to the new Triumvirate Theater. This is exciting for us as well as challenging because we've done it the same way for the last 35 years. So this is a little bit different, but it's going to be a greater experience for the kids. The sound is wonderful, and we're really excited about being here and having each of you here. As a follow-up to the oral presentations, what we always used to do to the top 12 finalists is invite them and 3 guests to come to an awards banquet where we would seat them with a community member who could help them implement their ideas. That has been very successful for us, and it has gotten us to the White House 8 different times with Presidential Environmental Youth Awards because the kids realize that the community is there to help them and work with them. And that has been what we've done. This year we're transitioning because of this facility into somewhere we can bring in the entire community. Well, 200 of you. Because these kids need to be cheered on. So it's not only going to be payday, Bruce, like we usually have when we pass out the money for the kids, but we're going to be here to cheer them. And I've been encouraging people to think about, you're at a high school basketball game, it's a state championship, okay? Your team takes the court, and there's nobody in the bleachers. How good is your team going to be? Okay? And you know why you go to athletic events. You go on there to give them that spirit. You guys are so important in the audience to these kids. And these ideas, as I mentioned before, when the 3 different presidents have recognized our kids, and the only community in the country that's been recognized that many times is because you are here to cheer them on. So it's going to be a cheer type of payday, type of celebration, and that's going to be May 2nd. Okay, and everybody's invited, and the kids can bring as many of their family and friends as they want to. And of course, it's going to be hosted by Marathon, who's been our signature sponsor now for many years, and we truly appreciate them. So 36 years is a long time. I can't use the podium, so I'm going to turn this way so that I get some light. We have a right to be proud of a program like this that's lasted for 36 years. And it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the oil and gas industry. And I dare say this building wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the oil and gas industry. And our school district, my kids who went through this school district and now are successful adults, all with post-secondary education degrees, was because we found oil and gas at Swanson River. So we are thankful to that resource extraction industry and manufacturing petroleum company for doing that. Now, just like the Kenai Refinery, caring for the Kenai and the partnership that we have here in the community started here. It's an original idea, just like these kids have original ideas. It was only an idea that came out of the spur of the moment when I was speaking to a board of directors. And it's gone on to last that long, and it wouldn't go on that long. Eric Soderquist is back there. He met the President of the United States at the White House when he was a senior in high school. Now we're depending on him to be the tech advisor for our whole school district. Am I right, Clayton? All right. Okay, it's been a privilege for 36 years to witness this life-changing experience with these kids. And Anna DeVold, 2 years ago, was on the Disney Channel. The whole month of April, she was seen globally because of her idea, promote our pollinators, okay, and how she followed through with that. None of these kids would have had this experience or have had this life-changing pathway for them if it wasn't for this program. So we are grateful because it is a community program. It is not just one idea or one curriculum that we bought out of Kentucky. It's here, it's ours, and our kids have the advantage of it. Among the top 12 tonight in our competition are students, schools throughout the borough from Soldotna High to Kenai Central, Homer, and Seward. They've traveled a long way to be here tonight. Now, these school classrooms will all receive part of a $20,000 cash award. The neat thing about this money is that the finalist is earning it, and the teacher who helped them learn it will partner in deciding what piece of STEM education can we invest this prize money in to help the next kid be successful. Okay, so it's a teacher-student partnership. None of it goes to administration. It all goes to what they decide. Maybe it's a field trip. Maybe it's a piece of technology that will help STEM education and kids develop ideas and thinking and learning science and technology in the future. $10,000 is up for grad for these kids. That'll go into their pocket. That'll be payday on May the 2nd, when we come back here. Now, tonight you're seeing the top 12 ideas selected last month by a broad-based panel of judges from the nearly 400 entries that were submitted. But also, many times, I meet people who tell me, I didn't make it to the top 12, but I had an idea that wasn't feasible. And this is a real story that just happened a few months ago. We had a new Zumba instructor at the fitness place where I teach power science. And so just getting to know her and asking, where'd you go to school? I went to Sohai. Oh, when did you graduate? In 2004. So I'm going to ask, did you participate in caring for the Kenai? She said, well, yeah, I did. And my idea wasn't feasible, but you know what? I learned that I could come up with an idea, and that my ideas made a difference in my community. And I said, oh, what do you do for a day job? She said, I'm an environmental engineer on the North Slope. Okay. She had to think. It was because of that idea. And I can hardly wait to talk to Hannah, because she's had quite a year since she won last year. But it's exciting. And you guys make all this possible. Thanks tonight to Samantha Springer. What should I say, Greg? My boss? Probably. Yeah. As Greg knows, you don't say no to Samantha. She's the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce, our business community, and she's jumped in with both feet to help us in this transition here tonight to the whole new facility. Also, Paul Wright, that's why the sound's so good. Anybody that makes my voice sound good is really cool. Bob Mabry's back there on the board tonight. Thank you, Bob, for being here. And I already told you our former CFK winner, Eric Soderquist, is with us, and he's now with the Kenai Peninsula Borough School District. And the Triumvirate Theater, we are really, again, a statement for a community that doesn't let a tragedy end anything, but invests in something that we have here around us. And any community across the country would give their eye teeth to have a community theater like this, and we did it. Okay, so all contestants are going to remain anonymous until after the scoring is complete to eliminate any perception of bias towards schools or individuals. Now, that means that each contestant will simply introduce themselves by an assigned number for scoring on your computers, and then everyone afterwards, when the presentations are all finished, we will announce who they are and what school they come from. And this year, judges, you're going to be happy to know we're going to take an intermission. Okay? You're going to have a chance to take a little potty break. We've got 6 contestants, and then we'll come back after 10 minutes and have the other 6 so that you can take a little reprieve, stretch your legs a little bit. Okay, our esteemed panel of judges tonight, we welcome Clayton Holland, the Superintendent of Schools. Mr. Holland has worked in education for over 3 decades and began his local career at the Kenai Peninsula Borough School District as a special education teacher at Kenai Central High School in 2000. And the one thing I can say about Clayton is that heart for special ed kids goes on now to the whole school district. And after having worked with, I believe, 5 superintendents of schools, I have to compliment Clayton because he's been through some very difficult times. He took the helm during COVID, and now he's brought us back to a sense of normality. So great job, Clayton. Let's give Clayton a big round of applause. Next to Clayton is Bruce Jackman, and boy, do I like talking about this guy. He doesn't like talking to me, especially if I have a microphone. But Bruce is a real local success story. He is what every mom and dad who's ever had kids here want to happen. You want your kids to come home and then be successful. Well, Marathon Petroleum Kenai Refinery manager Bruce returns for his 5th year tonight as a finalist judge. He was born and raised right here on the Kenai. Bruce is the first locally born person to rise or be risen to. Anyway, he got the job as manager. But he grew up in Nikiski, and he graduated from KCHS in 1988. After high school, he attended the University of Kansas, earning his Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering. Bruce's entire work career, however, has been right in Nikiski. He worked as a crew member on the Barnes SetNet site through his high school and college years. He knows what hard work is. Anybody who's a SetNetter really does. And his first professional job was with Unical Agrium Nutrient Fertilizer Company, who back when they were in business was a Caring for the Kenai sponsor. He spent 15 years at the facility with roles in engineering, maintenance, turnarounds, and operations. When the fertilizer facility closed in 2008, Bruce took a maintenance supervisor role across the street at Tesoro Refinery. Then in 2011, he was promoted to maintenance manager, and in 2021, Bruce was promoted to the refinery manager. And you got a big deal going on there just in a couple of days. Right, Bruce?
It's going on right now, Merle.
It's going on now. And you're good enough that you could get away to come here tonight. That's a 24-hour deal. It's turnaround. No, maintenance. Maintenance what?
We could say turnaround.
We could say turnaround again? Oh, good. It's happening. And this year, the traffic's going to even be better. There's some 1,000 contractors out there right now. And they work 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week. But they're busing the contractors through the back road so that the north road won't have congestion as it has in the past. So thank you, Bruce, for thinking of the community. Ben Wright, no, and it's not, no, okay. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Ben first, Brad, because that's the way I have it on my platform. Ben has been here many years also. He's the CEO of Peninsula Community Health Services. And prior to the pandemic, PCHS welcomed Ben as the new CEO of the organization. Mr. Wright hails from Duluth, Minnesota, and has more than 30 years' experience as an administrator for organizations that focus on serving at-risk populations. Mr. Wright has brought the Kenai Peninsula his knack for developing innovative programs, not only at PCHS, but the Central Peninsula, as Mr. Wright brings to the Kenai Peninsula a well-rounded approach to health issues. And I remember when there were two classes of people on the Kenai Peninsula. There were the haves and the have-nots. You either had medical insurance and you worked for the oil and gas industry, or you worked for the school district and you had health insurance, or you didn't. And it was that very large part of the population that brought PCHS into existence so that there would be health care for everybody, whether you had a gold-plated insurance plan or not. So thank you, Ben, and thank you for supporting Caring for the Kenai. Brad, if I do it off the top of my head, we're going to be in trouble. Brad Janorschke is the Chief Executive Officer of HEA, Homer Electric Association, and is in generation transmission entity. That's what HEA is, Alaska Electric and Energy Cooperative. HEA delivers service to over 36,000 meters across the Kenai Peninsula. HEA also operates and maintains the Bradley Lake Hydroelectric Project, the largest hydro facility in the state of Alaska. With over 37 years in the electric utility industry, Brad joined HEA in 2004. He has worked for 2 distribution cooperatives, 1 generation and transmission. This goes on and on and on. We are truly fortunate and lucky to have him here. The only thing I'll say about Brad, if he ever asks you to be a photographer in Fairbanks, say no. Okay. That's an inside story. Okay. I just wasn't following my notes right. Okay, here we go. Weston Eiler is the first time he's been here, and we're really glad to have some fresh blood among us here tonight. He is the operations engineer analyst for Alaska Energy Sector of Hilcorp, a privately owned corporation, by the way. Weston Eiler is an engineering and policy-oriented professional with experience connected to Alaska's energy and regulatory environment. His background reflects a blend of technical analysis, operational support, and legislative insight, positioning him very well for the intersection of oil and gas and public policy. Within Alaska, Hilcorp employs a significant engineering workforce with over 1,000 personnel in the region, focused extending to the productive life and legacy assets through technical innovation and operational discipline. And next, I think this is groundbreaking. I think it's the first time we've had an attorney. Don't get nervous, Brad. First time that we've had an attorney on the judges panel. But this is nostalgic for me because one of my mentors, one of the people who always showed up to help me with Caring for the Kenai was Mama Jane Stein, known by everybody as Mama Jane. Now, George Stein was always backstage, and he was always calculating the paper and adding the things of our transfer of the winners. Well, now his son and Mama Jane's great-grandson, who was helping us this afternoon, is part of the Caring for the Kenai legacy and judging panel tonight. I call him prospectors. He's also the president of the Kenai Chamber of Commerce, which is what these kids are going to be doing next, building our economy, building our business, and taking us into the future. That's why we're here tonight, to invest in the future and these kids. Okay, he's also been instrumental in chamber events, public forums, outreach efforts that highlight the importance of local enterprise and regional identity. And finally, but definitely not least, is last year's winner. What a success story we have for Hannah Leatherman, a sophomore from Seward High School. Hannah was last year's judge's choice for her work with a thermal asphalt mix that might replace brine solutions and their impact of motor vehicles. She stepped up and addressed a problem that they're addressing in Juneau. And later on, when we talked to Hannah, she actually testified for a Senate Resource Committee hearing today in Juneau. That's the kind of work we're glad to. This is our panel of judges. Will you all please give them a big round of applause? With that, we're finally ready. You've heard enough from me, and now we are going to bring out our first contestant, who will introduce herself by number only. Judges, however you work those little things down there, go to 163. That is going to be your first presentation for the evening. And let's everybody welcome number 163 to the new Caring for the Kenai stage.
Good afternoon. I'm 163. Is there a slide deck? Okay. Next slide. Okay. $525,000 is roughly how much the city of Kenai spends every year on post-dip netting season cleanup. This is mostly due to nobody complying with the rules and littering, which not only hurts the environment, but also the city of Kenai funds. People do not comply with the rules for proper disposal of anything during dip netting season on the Kenai River. They leave fish carcasses on the riverbanks and litter, which not only hurts the shellfish, fish, but also anyone or anything that consumes stuff from the river. The bacteria is very spreadable and infects all surrounding species. Next slide. My plan is to bring in 2 large 20-foot by 6-foot platforms with cutting tables and 2 chutes to then place them strategically along the riverbank of the river around where most people dip net. And also we could put up informational signs so that people know why those are there. Next slide. What could happen if there is no change? If there is no change, the waters, beaches, and animals will continue to suffer and be hurt by this. All the bacteria in the surrounding area will create a health hazard even for humans. Animals may associate people's food and become more aggressive. Cleaning this will become more and more expensive, and the bacteria may build up and spread further than just the Kenai River. Next slide. As you're able to see, I did have to change my original idea a little bit, all with good reason. Firstly, I had to consolidate my idea due to needing such large chutes, and each of these chutes are lined with dimple plates so the fish can easily slide down them and avoid getting clogged. We need large chutes because of the large tide changes. The tide range is about 25 feet, so my plan was to put a 5-foot table, or the table 5 feet into that so the steps start out of the water regardless of the tide. But also, the table being 6 feet wide and the chute itself being 15 feet is more than long enough to get the fish to where they need to be in case of an incredibly low tide. If the tide happens to be even lower than this, the chute is out far enough that when the tide comes back in, it will simply pick up the fish carcasses. Next slide. None of this is to scale, although it does have very real measurements that should work perfectly on it. Next slide. Why I think this would be effective is because whenever you provide a cleaning table with a chute just off the edge, it's harder to not follow the proper disposal rules. These cutting tables are designed to handle the masses, meaning they wouldn't have to go out of the way to use the tables. They're much easier to fillet fish on than the beaches or the coolers like people are doing now. Next slide. My fun plan is I I personally think that the people who charge the dip netters to dip net on this beach, the city of Kenai, should invest in their community and their community's well-being, especially seeing that the total revenue they make off of it is actually less than the amount they spend on cleanup. It would be unintelligent to try and not make some sort of change. The benefit would be massive. The wildlife would be able to live comfortably, healthily, and the beach would not be a health hazard. It would return to the nice place it once was, because who wants to go on a beach full of dead fish? Next slide. A brief summary of my plan is to inform the people of the hazards of ongoing neglect of rules, install gravity-fed chutes coming off the cleaning tables that may or may not need to be new, or they do need to be new, sorry, this is old, and it leads the fish carcasses into the deeper part of the river where they're supposed to be tossed to. This would work well because it makes everything convenient and there'd be simply no reason to keep piles of fish carcasses on the beach. You would need to go out of your way not to use the chutes. The next step would to be keeping people informed and so that they don't forget why these are important, and use basic upkeep on them so we can use them in the future. And if they turn out to work well, we can apply this to other places that have the same or similar issues as well. Yeah, and all the materials would just be like aluminum grade, square tubing, chem grate, and the dimple plate. And that's all I got.
Again, there we go. Ellen, can you move over here where I can see you more from backstage and where the kids can see you, because you're kind of in the dark there?
Move me away from there, but okay, I'm fine.
Okay. Question and answer time. So, judges, who wants to be first to go with a question for number 163? Bruce, go ahead.
Well, I won't, is this on?
Can we bring up the judges' mics? Try now, Bruce.
Can you hear me?
Not yet.
I don't think so. Speak, speak, speak.
There you go.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say I appreciate you addressing the beach in Kenai. It is really a gem for the community, something that I think we should cherish always. With that, in order to really promote the use of those tables, have you thought about some kind of pumping system to get water to the table to help the folks clean the fish?
I have not thought about that yet myself. I was trying to keep the cost low so that it would be easier to apply as fast as we could, but that's definitely something we could look into.
Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, just to follow up on Bruce a little bit, that was a great presentation and a good idea. You had mentioned possibly some other sites. Have you thought about Kasilof? Because I think they also do dip netting down there.
That was one of the places I had in mind. Yeah, just any places that struggle with the same, there's a bunch of people fishing and leaving a bunch of dead carcasses on the beach. We could apply this to.
Yes, sir. Clayton, go ahead.
Thank you. So great. I don't know if it's great presentation. Reminded me of, you see those slides like the Russian River, and been very effective there. And so, of course, the scale is much different. But you, on your design, you had a 20-foot slide and you changed it to 15. And is that right, or did I
No, it's a 20-foot platform on it, so it's like 20 feet of table with two 15-foot chutes.
Okay, thank you. That makes sense. And then also, have you had the opportunity to talk to the city of Kenai about this idea?
I haven't yet, but I definitely could.
I hope you do. It's a great idea, and thank you for doing this.
Of course.
Bob, can we get more gain on the judges' mics? Okay. And the other thing I'm thinking, if we could maybe bring up the house lights so that the students can see the timekeeper sitting in the audience.
Now, do they get 5 for question and answer, or can that be as long as it?
While they're doing that, any other questions? Judges, all in, all done, ready to mark your scores? Go ahead. This is one. Well, I didn't. Did you have a question, Hannah? You're okay? Judges, okay? Go ahead and mark your scores. And we'll bring our next up. Are the judges all ready? Okay, the other thing I forgot to tell you in your briefing, that at your judge's seat there is a notepad so that you can keep track. In case at the end we'll let you go back in and reevaluate and change any scores that you want. So there's pencils and those sheets are there for that purpose. And now if you are all ready, we'll bring out our next contestant, who is number 298. Number 298, come on out.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity to present today. I'm number 298, and I'm here to discuss a pressing environmental issue faced by the Kenai Peninsula, scrap tire accumulation. And I'm here to propose a transformative solution, the creation of the Kenai Peninsula Tire Recycling Fund. Right now, scrap tires are cluttering our communities, creating not only an unsightly mess, but also posing serious environmental risks. These tires take years to decompose. They leach harmful chemicals into our soil and even serve as breeding grounds for mosquitoes, contributing to public health concerns. A sustainable solution is imperative, and that solution lies within my proposal for the Kenai Peninsula Tire Recycling Fund. Imagine a modest fee of just $5 to $10 on each tire sold in the Kenai Peninsula. This fee, while small, would generate a substantial funding dedicated solely to managing and recycling used tires locally. According to the Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation, initiatives like this are essential for effective waste management. With the Kenai Peninsula Tire Recycling Fund, every dollar collected would go directly toward processing tires right here in our communities, a vital step in addressing this escalating crisis. But you might ask, why are existing disposal methods so inadequate? One key challenge is the cost and inconvenience repair shops face in disposing of old tires. By establishing the Kenai Peninsula Tire Recycling Fund, we can provide financial incentives for these businesses, ensuring they have the necessary resources and equipment, such as tire shredders, to recycle tires properly instead of resorting to illegal dumping. Research indicates that funding for proper disposal equipment can radically improve recycling rates in rural areas like ours. Moreover, let's consider the potential benefits of the materials derived from processed tires. Tire-derived aggregate and rubber crumb can be utilized in local infrastructure projects, ranging from road construction to playground resurfacing. This not only helps clean our environment, but also contributes to the local economy. As isolated as Alaska may be, our remote nature makes shipping tires out of state impractical. Therefore, developing local markets for these recycled materials is essential. As research indicates, local projects will significantly reduce waste and promote economic self-sufficiency. The Kenai Peninsula Tire Recycling Fund does not stand alone. It's supported by successful models from other states, such as Washington and Oregon, which have implemented similar point-of-sale fee systems with great success. The transition for us would be straightforward, requiring a bill to define the fee amount and its application to the Kenai Peninsula. This simplicity makes it easy for businesses to implement, while ensuring that consumers can readily understand the purpose behind this fee. Let's put some numbers on this. On the Kenai Peninsula, there are 76,000 registered vehicles, and if we charge $7 for each 100,000 tires sold, we could generate around $700,000 annually. This consistent revenue stream would cover the operational costs associated with tire recycling and, more importantly, work toward creating a cleaner and more beautiful community. Imagine driving through our neighborhoods and seeing not piles of discarded tires, but thriving parks and safe roadways. This is the vision that the Kenai Peninsula Tire Recycling Fund offers. Adopting this vision won't just address the tangible problems at hand, it will foster a sense of pride among community members who will witness firsthand the transformation of waste into valuable resources. This represents a shift toward creating a local regenerative economy where waste is minimized and sustainability is prioritized. In conclusion, I urge you to consider the Kenai Peninsula Tire Recycling Fund not only as a necessary response to a growing environmental challenge, but also as an opportunity for positive change. By adopting this small fee and investing in our local ecosystem, we can turn an environmental crisis into lasting improvement for our community. Together, let's take the steps necessary to secure a sustainable future for the Kenai Peninsula. Thank you.
Questions from our judges, please. Brad.
Yeah, that's a great idea, and it's hard to disagree that we don't have a tire problem. Have you given any thought to talk about the borough about this? Because you spent a lot of time focused on communities, and I think fine-tuning a presentation and some success at the local level, it'd make it easier to sell at the state. Just a thought.
Yeah, thank you. And I have thought about reaching out to our state representative, Sarah Vance. I have a letter that I'm writing right now to her with just what her thoughts on this would be and how she thinks that this would work, like in my city and other cities too in Alaska.
Next question, Hannah.
Great presentation, by the way. I was wondering where you were planning on having the donations be organized, or like what areas you would like to start in. Are you mostly going to like base this off in the Kenai area at first and then hopefully move forward to different cities?
I think so, yeah. I think we would start in the borough and then if it was successful, move to other cities in Alaska. And for like donations or what you were saying about that, I was thinking that we would do point of sale. So when you sell the tire, it would be a tax that would be passed, and then it would just be right there that they would have a higher tax on the tire, and that tax would go to recycling tires and facilities.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Greg, I saw your hand up. Go for it.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Very nice, very well done, great idea. Out of curiosity, what is the cost per tire to send it out of state for recycling or other uses?
The cost per tire to send it out of state, I'm pretty sure it's very steep, like more than it's worth to send it out of state. It's almost double of what it would be if we had a facility here, because just with shipping and being able to process it somewhere else is already expensive, and so it almost isn't even worth it to be able to do that, which is why it's so important to have something here to process our tires and recycle them.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions from our judges? Okay, guys, log in your scores and let's give a big round of applause to number 298. Ellen, I'm going to move you 2 chairs down again. To your right, to your left.
Do they only get 5 minutes for questions?
Yes.
Want me to go 3 so you feel better? I'm going 3.
Well, you're behind the judges. You can always poke them to make another question. See? Yeah. Go ahead. Are our judges all ready for our next contestant? Okay, it looks like you're all ready. It is number 217, number 217. Come on out, guys.
Hey guys, so I'm 217 number 1.
And I'm 217 number 2.
And we're here today to talk about a problem that's plagued the Kenai Peninsula for a few years now. We all know about beetle kill. It's an issue that ravages the forests we know and love.
Even when we were kids, we used to travel through the old-growth forests of Exit Glacier, staring in awe at these towering trees and their luscious leaves. But in recent years, that forest began to decay, and that's all by the hands of spruce beetles.
But luckily, we have a safe and cost-effective method to prevent these beetles from spreading anymore. Next slide. All right, so to beat a plague, you must first understand exactly what it is. So, let's see, could you go to the next slide there? All right, Dendroctus raufipennis is more commonly known as a spruce beetle, and they're a type of bark beetle that thrives on the Kenai Peninsula. They eat the bark off of trees, which prevents any nutrients from reaching the top, which usually ends up killing or severely weakening the trees, and this leads to dead forests and fires, which are things that nobody wants to see.
Next slide. Part 1 of our solution is to use a special pheromone called verbenon that scientists have been able to recreate. It tricks the beetles into thinking the tree is already full, so that they move on. It is completely non-toxic and does not harm any living things in the area. And And it is in microflake form, which makes it easily dispersible and applicable. And while there is a liquid form, which may seem better in some ways, from our research we have found that the microflake form as I said earlier, is much easier to disperse and apply. And it's also very cost effective. 1 kilogram of this costs about $25 and can cover just about 10 acres of land. Next slide.
All right, so this pheromone may seem good in theory, but it's pretty useless unless you have a way to apply it. So that's what these drones are for. The one on the left, the white one, is used to map out the area where the beetles are a few weeks before the flight season. So they use their cameras to look at the colors of trees and then determines the borders of the beetle kill affected zone. And then about a week after that, so a week before the flight season, that second drone comes in and it has a box with a hatch on the bottom. So you fill that with these pheromone microflakes and then it goes along the border of these beetle killed zones to prevent the beetles from spreading. Now, the best part about this is that our second drone is completely autonomous as it uses the maps from the first drone to disperse the pheromone. So now that we have, sorry, this has been shown to completely stop the spread of beetles and has even lowered the beetle population inside of the area. Next slide.
While this may seem all good in theory, putting it to practice is a whole nother beast.
We could ask politicians and businesses for funding, and this might work, but it would take a little too long, and we might not get enough. So we need something that we can do ourselves.
Luckily, we do have a way. We have 3 simple steps to beat the beetles.
All right, next slide. All right, so step 1 is pretty simple, but it's not the easiest. It's to get funding. So we have 2 products here we're planning to sell to make money for our beetle project. Now the first one here is that beetle plush there. It's pretty cute and just so happens to have great margins. So we were quoted $487 from the manufacturer, and we think people would buy it for $20, which leaves us about $15 of profit that we can use toward our project.
Our second product is this chocolate bark. It kind of symbolizes how the beetles are eating through the bark of these trees every single day, slowly killing them. And another plus, it tastes really good. It was quoted at $2.55 wholesale, and we believe we could sell for $9.99 each, which would make us a pretty good profit of $7.44. Yeah.
All right, and if you don't believe selling products works to make money, just look at the Girl Scouts. They got it pretty well. But we want to do a little more than just selling door to door. We want to have an online store so people from all around the country who hear about our cause can help support it. And we also maybe even want to get it into farmers markets and tourist stores across the peninsula so they know what they're helping. All right, next slide.
Okay, our second step for this is to mark all the high-risk areas. We were able to get in touch with the lead interpretive ranger of Kenai Fjords National Park, Joe Rodriguez, and he was able to get us in contact with the tree expert of the national park. And she was able to tell us that Exit Glacier is turning into a high-risk zone, and it could end up like this in a few years. But luckily, it doesn't have to be this way. If we implement our idea and enact step 3, which is to apply our drones and our pheromones to this, we can save this place and make it a beautiful place again. Next slide. Yeah, thank you. Any questions?
Good job, guys. Okay, judges. Questions? Is that your hand, Hannah?
It's my hand. Okay. Great presentation, by the way, guys. I was just wondering how much it's going to cost to manufacture these drones and how many we're going to need to cover the land and the areas that you plan on covering first.
Well, the black drone, which is the more expensive one, is about $20,000, and we did the math. It's about 1,500 beetle plushies. But we're only going to need about 2 of those to do the whole project. And the white drone is a bit cheaper. It's $5,000, and we're only going to need 1 of those. So in total, the drones will be about $45,000.
Okay, thank you.
Weston.
Yeah.
I don't think. Is his mic hot?
I think it's on.
There it is.
There we go. Yeah, great presentation, guys. We'll look for you on Shark Tank here. That was pretty comprehensive, top to bottom. Question for you, and looking at your essay, did your research kind of fully determine that these pheromones wouldn't have any unintended ecosystem consequences if they get rid of, if they're kind of inhibitors for bark beetles, might they also have implications for birds or other pollinating species in the ecosystem?
We did actually look into this, and we found that these beetles produce a special pheromone that's special to only them. And since they are an invasive species, them leaving the ecosystem would actually help everything, and they won't infect any other insects or birds.
Yeah, them being an invasive species actually helps out here because their pheromone's pretty distinct.
Ben?
Yeah, really good. Just a quick question. Once you do an application, how long is it good for?
Well, it's good for the season. So you apply it like once every season before the flight, like a week before the flight period where they're spread. And then they just, they don't really see the trees because the pheromone is sort of a no vacancy pheromone. So there's no room left in this tree. So they just don't really go to it. And then since there are just too many and not enough trees to eat, they end up dying off.
Thanks.
Clayton?
Yeah, thank you. Great research that you guys did. Very relevant topic to all of us who've lived here and watched what's happened to our trees over time. It's very appreciated for this idea. Question about the pheromone. Has it been experimented? Have they done this on scale anywhere? Has it been used with any success?
Yeah, it has been used a little bit in the lower 48 and has been shown to work.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? My mom wanted to spay the Beatles back in the 60s. I want to hold your hand. Okay, judges, if you're all ready to mark your scores, let's give them a big round of applause. Great idea. Great work, guys. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Not only do you have to spay your pets, now you got to spay your beetles. That was a joke, okay? They haven't gotten any better in 35 years, have they, Brad? No, it never does. Okay, our next contestant is number 38, a pair of 8s. Get your computer scores all ready, and let's bring her out with a big round of applause.
My original idea was to place salt licks around the peninsula in hopes of decreasing the amount of moose vehicle collisions because Matsu Valley and the Kenai Peninsula have the highest rates in the entire state. And during the winter and summer, moose and other wildlife grow sodium deficiencies, and the salt lick sites would have been a safe-ish way to provide the moose with sodium. There were a lot of holes in the plan, like the legality, the hunting and other animals, and disease spreading. So when I spoke on the phone with Chris Bottom at Alaska Department of Fish and Game, he said that it was a good idea, but unfortunately it was considered feeding them, so it was illegal and I couldn't do that. There were too many risk factors, and so I recently went to a conference and I spoke to some people at Breathe Free Alaska, and they were talking to me about having a cigarette butt cleanup day at local parks to clean up the cigarette butts. And they wanted to start at Soldotna Creek Park, where the Wednesday markets are. And cigarettes are a really big problem here in the peninsula and in Alaska and in the country. And they're the world's most littered item, with about 4.5 trillion pieces being littered yearly across the world. Cigarette butts contain cellulose acetate, which is a plastic derived from cellulose and acetate acid, and they're full of toxic and harmful materials. There's over 80 carcinogens and over 250 different toxic chemicals that can cause things like cancer, heart disease, respiratory issues. And when it rains, the butts left on the ground, they leach the materials into the ground and into the groundwater and the wells, and they can poison the water. They can do all sorts of harmful things. You can go to the next slide. And they take about 15 years to fully decompose, as they're pretty non-biodegradable. There is a lot of worries about the cigarettes in the parks and around the cities, there's the Soldotna Creek Park where Wednesday markets are, and that's the bear is at the Kenai Municipal. And cigarette butts also pose, like there's a wildfire aspect, like just dropping a butt that isn't fully put out can cause a grass fire so great that it can wipe out entire parks. Like in 2020 in Homer, there was a butt-caused fire, and it was about 30 by 30 feet, and it did get successfully contained. So when smoking in park, there's like it's not only destroying the land, but also our lungs. And like, even if you're not the one smoking it, second and third hand smoke is very toxic. Second hand can give you cancer, respiratory diseases, heart diseases, and poses great harm to children and youth. Third-hand smoke is the chemical residue left on items such as clothing or like different things and like in parks. And it persists even after the smoking is stopped. And so when children are in the parks, they can get SIDS, they can ear infections, and so to prevent that, I want to have a cigarette cleanup day where me and a group of other people go and pick up cigarette butts. And so, next slide. That's different park, Luke Hansen Memorial. And so to clean up the butts, we have to do it safely and contained because like it's toxic. And so the butts, and then we want to make little cans to put the butts in, and they're like portable. Next slide. Yeah.
Okay, that's the end of your time. Boot the butt, absolutely. Anybody that's been on a road cleanup has seen that, and they don't go away. They're there year after year. Bruce, you have a question.
I just want to say, nice job, basically going through two of these to get to your final presentation. I'm sure that was frustrating, but it's a very worthwhile cause. Have you thought about an easy way to pick the butts up?
Gloves are sufficient. Going out to the parks and putting on a pair of gloves and having a bucket or a bag or whatever, and just picking up the butts and throwing them away. Just making sure they're fully disposed of.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Clayton.
Yeah, I'll start with a comment too. I appreciate how you pivoted on your presentation. That's really difficult to do.
Thank you.
And then I was just thinking too, you're nervous, but I sit here and think every time I see somebody up there that there's no way at your age I would have gone up there. So a tremendous amount of courage for you as well, being here and doing this. And then just with the cigarette butt issue, that is, where I live, I do my little spring cleanup around my area, and it is a big issue. And so appreciate that project, and wonder if you thought about maybe a public awareness campaign or
Yes,
something to go with
I
it?
am actually in the middle of making a website for Boot the Butts to spread awareness about it and to promote getting people to help clean it up and stop the littering.
Judges, any other questions? Ben, I see you thinking. You quit smoking, Ben?
I would just make a comment that I think it's a really good idea. I know where we work, where we're at, it's a constant problem. So to bring out the awareness is a good job on your part. So thank you.
Thank you.
If the judges are all in and all done, let's give her a big round of applause. I'd like to volunteer to go out with your team and pick up those butts. Rotary does a highway cleanup 2 times a year, and those butts don't go away. They're there year after year. And for some reason, smokers have to Sorry about that. Thank you very much. Good job. Judges all ready for our next contestant? It looks good. Okay, it's number 134 is your entry number. Please welcome number 134.
Good afternoon. As I'm sure you all know, Alaska and Alaskan communities are built off of fishing industries. All over the Kenai Peninsula, we have fishing charters, fillet companies, and packaging companies. These fishing industries contribute to our economy and tourism. Along with these multitudes of fishing charters and companies, they bring a huge problem. This problem is the improper disposal of fish waste. What I mean by this is many charters and personal boats fillet the salmon or halibut right there on the spot. This causes them to throw the carcasses right back into the ocean. The main problem with this is if they continue to dump these carcasses into the ocean, they will slowly build up and create a dead zone. This is where the bottom of the ocean is strangled by these carcasses to the point marine life like algae and fish no longer can live. Dead zones are low oxygen regions of the ocean. The amount of oxygen isn't enough to support marine life, so they flee. The problem with dead zones is the fish that are usually caught in that area will no longer be there, and fishermen will go to new spots, and this will be a continuous problem until there are no more salmon or halibut close to those areas where charters most of the time go to, which will then lead to there being no more charters and slowly no more tourists. Dead zones aren't the only problem though. As I've said, Alaska's economy has been built off of tourism. Some of our main attractions are the sights you see, along with the possibility and experience of catching fish. Many people don't follow laws and regulations. They might just throw the fish waste on the riverbanks, which is not only dangerous, it is also gross and will eventually contribute to tourism numbers going down. Right now, the fish waste that is being put into the ocean, into the fish buckets, and harbors are being ground up and put back into the ocean. My idea will not only help improve the Kenai Peninsula's problem of fish waste, it will also make the Kenai Peninsula more beautiful in many ways. What I mean when I say this is I want to grind up these fish carcasses, but rather than putting them back into the ocean, turn them into a fertilizer that can be used all over Alaska. The fertilizer that will be made will reuse the fish carcasses so there are no more dead zones, filled riverbanks, or fish landfills. The fertilizer that can be used in different areas. The fertilizer can be used in different areas of Alaska that aren't growing vegetation properly. I also plan to sell the fertilizer for a small price. This money will go straight back into this project. How I plan to accomplish this and actually produce this fertilizer is by using some of the equipment that is already in Homer, Alaska. But rather than pumping the ground up bones into the ocean, I will continue to process them into a bone meal or fertilizer, which will then be packaged up and sold or given away. How I will accomplish this is by making a team, putting together a group of people who want to help improve the Kenai Peninsula. This team will consist of many different people. It will all be volunteer work. Some people will come from high schools. The high schoolers will get service hours for helping out in this process. To start this, we will use the fish carcasses at the harbors that have been put into buckets. Then we will go to different riverbanks and collect the carcasses. The process of this would be very expensive, but there are many environmental grants that I can apply for. A few of these grants are a federal grant called the Environmental Justice Small Grants Program. This grant is a community-led grant and directly supports environmental and public health issues. I will also discuss getting a donation from the Homer Emblem and Elks Club, which focuses on charity, community service, and social activities. They help with numerous different problems in their towns, so I would email them with my idea and ask for a donation to help get my idea started. These grants and donations will be directly used to buy the equipment and whatever else may be needed. Although my project will be quite expensive, I believe it will be worth it because not only will we be cleaning up our riverbanks, oceans, and harbors, we will also make Alaska a brighter and more beautiful place. So will you help me in this process of making Alaska and the Kenai Peninsula a beautiful and better place?
Very nicely done. Now, questions from our judges, please. Greg.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I love the idea of recycling something that's otherwise just waste. The question I have is, how well does it work as a fertilizer? Is it specific to any particular crops or plants?
It works very well. Fertilizer, it helps plants grow, and specifically potatoes, they grow very well with a fertilizer, especially a bone meal. And the fish bone meal, since it's being reused, it helps already because of the stuff in fish. So it helps a lot of different plants and flowers also. It's not just vegetables. And yeah.
Perfect. No, thank you.
Of course.
Go ahead, Hannah.
Very good presentation, by the way. I was wondering if you have tried possibly making your own sort of sample of the fertilizer, or maybe like trying it at home or anything, or if this is just research that you've done.
This is only research at the moment, but I would love to try and do this because I am a fisher and I am a gardener, so it all works out.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Weston.
Yeah, great idea, great presentation, thanks. And I think one thing you might consider too is talking to processors as a way to scale that in terms of not just charters, but if there are ways to utilize fish waste in a commercial sense, could let you scale it. And if you haven't, you can think about that, but great presentation.
Thank you, that's a great idea.
Anybody else? Something fishy going on here? Brad loves my jokes. Okay, if not, let's give her a big round of applause. Great idea. Would you think I took my break early or something? Is it 160? No, the next number is 309. It is the 6th entry, and then we are going to have a little intermission to give you a little break to stretch your legs. So mark or find your thing in the computer. I started out with yellow pads and a fax machine 35 years ago, okay? So I don't even know what you call a digital scoring thing. Hadassah, what do you call it? Software? I call it frustrating, is what I call it. Okay, number 309 is our 6th contestant. Please come on out.
Good evening, everyone. I am here to share with you guys my Caring for the Kenai proposal. How many of you have been fishing or dip netting here on the Kenai Peninsula and came across a fish carcass on your line or net? People who come down from Anchorage, other parts of the state, tourists, and even locals will process their catch on the beach and just leave their carcasses lying around. We all are familiar with the horrific smell of rotting dead fish, and trust me, it is not very amusing. This problem attracts many seagulls, bears, and other wildlife, making it less of an attraction for people wanting to use the beaches. The Kenai Peninsula is known for its beautiful scenery and attracts many tourists. However, with dead fish lying around everywhere, it detracts from the natural beauty tourists come to the Kenai Peninsula to experience. In my proposal today, I want to share with you that my idea isn't just to collect the fish waste. I want us to transform the waste we gather into something valuable and beneficial for our entire community. Fertilizer. Fish fertilizer is rich in nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These are very essential nutrients for healthy soil and stronger plants. It's organic, renewable, and reduces our dependence on chemical fertilizers that can end up harming our environment. This fertilizer can benefit local farmers, community gardens around the Kenai Peninsula, and school garden programs like the one at Sedona Montessori. This system would work by first placing collection bins in more locations than just the dump or parking lots. We would put them near fishing docks and designated fishing areas. These bins would be clearly labeled, easy to access, and designed to prevent odor. Once the waste is collected, it would not just sit there. It would be transported to a dedicated facility where it can be composted, processed, and turned into fertilizer. It would then create a cycle, from waste to resource to benefit. And the best part, the system is built to grow. While we begin with fish waste, the program can expand over time to include other organic waste. Of course, every proposal has a cost. The initial expense would include the bins and transportation. To cover the cost of this process, we can apply for environmental or community grants, and we could possibly partner with Cook and Link Keepers and or the Kenai Watershed Forum. But the long-term return, both financially and environmentally, is far greater. We reduce waste, create a product that can be sold or used locally, and build a cleaner community. You'll always face challenges when starting something new, but that's how progress happens. Some challenges that may occur throughout this process could include people not utilizing the waste bins and getting transportation for the bins to be moved to a facility. There are some ways these challenges can be solved, like putting up signs at boat launches explaining what the bins are for, and handing out flyers at stores like Fred Meyer's, Sportsman's, and Trustworthy's. We can also always start with just a few locations and expand slowly as it catches on. Thank you.
Q&A time, judges. Questions? Brad.
Sure, great idea. One of the questions I have, you'd made comments of collecting from the bins, the fish. Who's going to do the collections? Have you thought about that?
I have thought about it a little bit, but I have not found any. I have not researched it that far.
Okay, next question from our judges, please. Clayton, I see you getting ready.
Sure. All right, so thanks, great idea. Definitely fish carcasses, and I've caught my share of carcasses as well, I hate to say it. But yeah, so you collect them from the bins, or somebody will collect them, and then they will, are you planning on, they would go back to your house for the processing of it, or I may have missed that, but.
I would partner with some business or something, or create a program to then process it all, and I would look more into finding a program and building one.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, fantastic idea. I know we no longer have a fertilizer facility here, so I'm sure there are a lot of people that are looking for fertilizer. Do you have a market that you would target for your compost fertilizer?
I have not looked into that, but it's something I would want to research.
Okay, judges, all happy? Question there, Weston? No? Okay, go ahead and mark for number 309. Let's give her a big round of applause. And then we're going to take a little 10-minute intermission, maybe a little shorter, get up, move around a little bit, and we'll be back for our final 6 tonight. Now, okay. Thank you, guys. If you all come back, take your seats. The judges will be seated and get up our next contestant as we go through the second half. We go to number 52. 252. We have 2 of 52s. So come on out, 52, and let's see what you've got.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming. Tonight, me and my partner will be explaining and demonstrating our idea of a better way to clean up oil spills across the Kenai Peninsula in our boat harbors, and potentially even worldwide. Next slide, please.
Last summer, I worked at a marina on our very own Kenai Peninsula. I saw firsthand how oil pollution has affected our harbors and the wildlife that calls it home. Currently, oil is being cleaned up using a single-use plastic called an absorb. These methods are not sustainable long-term and are only adding to the problem. This experience has inspired us to look into a better solution.
Our solution is as simple as these hand-felted pet fur mats. They're significantly more effective, seeing as they're naturally hydrophobic and oil absorbent. For every 1 pound of pet fur, you can absorb 1 liter of oil in under a minute. Not to mention, they cost significantly less than an absorb. These cost about $1 a piece and are not reusable, whereas ours are free and can be made out of just our pet's fur. They're also significantly more eco-friendly, seeing as they're 100% naturally sourced.
Next slide. And then next slide again.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Using our reusable absorbs, we will now show you just exactly how real and effective this solution can become. So here we have 2 containers of plastic that'll be representing our small boat harbors, and this is what is implemented right now. It is a single-use plastic absorb. This is what we have made and hand felted out of animal hair. And as you can see here, we're just gonna dip them in the water, and we actually got these animal hair from donations from our very own classmates who were super eager to hear about our cause.
As you can see, both effectively picked up the oil, but the major difference here is that this has to be thrown away in a matter of seconds, and this can be used up to 50 more times. Matter of fact, we've already used this for 6 presentations prior to this, and it's still working just fine.
Next slide, please. So we plan on getting our pet hair through donations from our very own community. Our local animal shelter has many pets just sitting and waiting to be loved on and brushed. Alaska especially has a very unique opportunity regarding this because of our sled dog culture, since they already have very long and thick coats. We've also noticed that the boats that are carrying these absorbs are also carrying furry friends. We can set up pet hair collection stations on our own docks to give our community a unique way to give back.
As you can see, we have a solid solution in place, but we're gonna need help bringing it, next slide. We're gonna need help bringing it to a larger scale. The good news is we aren't the first people to do this. There's already a nonprofit based in San Francisco, California, doing this very thing. They're named Matter of Trust. They have already worked on the Deepwater Horizon oil spill and are currently working with the US Air Force on oil cleanup projects across the country. They are seeking to collaborate with cities and harbors just like us. We have recently been in touch with their global director based in Chile, and they have talked to us about one option that we could use, their pilot program. This would include them sending us free, on loan, our very own pet hair felt loom so that we could make these mats right here in Alaska at a larger scale. Next slide.
Reusable absorbs are just the start to a very important change that needs to take place in our environment. It doesn't always have to be a revolutionary idea to make a change, nor does it have to be costly to be effective. It's as simple as taking something that already exists and making it waste-free. The solution was truly right in front of our eyes this entire time. Thank you.
Now that's a hairy idea. I couldn't resist. Okay. Brad, it looks like you've already donated a whole bunch.
Oh, that's long.
Okay, questions from our judges.
Sure, I'll jump on that. That is a great idea, and you're right, pets love to be combed. One question I have you given any consideration to, you said that pet hair absorbent was already used for 6 presentations, and it can be washed, and I think you said used up to 15 times. So when you wash it, have you considered what to do with the residue?
So actually, at the marina that I worked at, there's an oil dump station at the very top of the dock. So we would just put our oil in there, and then the city comes and takes it about once a week, and then we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Any other questions? Hannah?
Really good job, guys. I was wondering if you're going to be getting all this hair, where you're going to be keeping all of this hair.
That's a great question. I think there would be a lot of, for example, if the animal shelter was donating hair, we would have it just kind of in holding points at every location. And then when we went to make it, we would go and collect it and then produce the mats and hopefully find someone that was willing to give us, it could be a relatively small space because they get pretty compact once they're felted, and then they could be stored until they needed to be used.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Bruce, I knew you would have one.
What a great idea. I do have a question kind of along the lines of Brad's here was, how are you separating the oil from the hair once it's absorbed to reuse the mat again?
So in previous times, we've just washed them out. So then we have obviously oily, soapy water. And then I think you can talk to the rest of that.
Yeah, so basically we just literally take Dawn dish soap. I don't know if you've seen the ads for taking the oil off of birds. It's literally on their container. So you literally just take water and you put soap on it and you scrub it away and then it's gone. And then you can reuse it again.
And then that could pick up into what we answered before about the drop-off stations that the city comes and picks up later.
Weston, I thought you would have a question.
Well, no, excellent presentation. Appreciate it. And looking back over your paper here, in your research or your experience, is all pet fur created equal between dogs, cats, et cetera? How do you account for that?
Well, we obviously have not. We're mostly working with dog fur and maybe cat fur. Depends what people gave us. I'm not quite sure. But according to our research, it pretty much said human hair, most every hair is usable as long as you can mat it into a pad. So as long as you have like a base of something that's pretty able to get tangled, you should be good.
And of course, it's the more porous the hair, the better it will absorb the oil. So just keep that in mind.
Clayton.
Yeah, what a great idea. And I'm thinking like right now I could give you all kinds of hair for my dogs. I mean, my gosh, spring. But so what a great idea. I'm just thinking of all the things you can do that. Is it absorbent for other, it could be used in the household for anything else?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like even when we were in the classroom doing this demonstration to practice a couple of times, we would spill oil on things and it's a messy substance, you know? And we were able to use our mats to pretty much clean up the mess we had made to begin with, which was pretty cool, like full circle moment.
And Greg.
Thanks for the presentation. My question is really, have you reached out to any of the local marine groups that target oil spills and that kind of thing yet to see what assistance you can provide to them?
We were kind of like waiting after this to then like reach out to the city to see what they thought and who they thought we should collaborate with. But we go to the animal shelter frequently and volunteer, and I know they'd be happy to help. And there's the Sea Life Center in town, and I have friends that are head scientists on whale projects there. So I'm sure we could definitely get our town on board.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, that's our time limit. Great job, girls.
How are we going to get this out? Just put it all in the bag.
Judges, enter your scores for number 52, and next is number 47.
I'm going to do switcheroo.
Oh, thank you, Sandy.
All right, let's see which one of these is on. Oh, well, are they both on? Wow, cool. All right, well, hi everyone. Rumor has it I'm number 47, but to you, hey, I could be number 1, who knows? So, go ahead and don't look at your cards. I will be a little mad at you. So, obviously, as you can tell by my not so inconspicuous board over here, I have a board game for you guys. Kenai Quest, Junior Stewards of the Peninsula. Why do I have a board game? Well, because here's the thing. Not many people know how to take care of their peninsula. Caring for the Kenai, for an example. It encourages kids to go ahead and discover ways how to care for their Kenai. What could be a problem that could create this incredible solution? People don't know how to take care of their Kenai. So how do we help solve that problem? Well, kids, when you're young, you're like a sponge. You absorb everything, including a board game. So, what better way to help kids learn how to take care of their peninsula than let them go ahead and learn in a fun, productive way? So, before I go ahead and show you guys my super cool board game, I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and look at your cards. Now, these cards are part of the board game. They are challenge and mission cards. And I'm going to go ahead and ask you to read them out loud to our audience, starting with Mr. Clayton over here. Not yet, though, because I just want to reiterate, I have high hopes for you guys. You know, this game is about saving the Kenai Peninsula, so let's see if you save the Kenai Peninsula. Go ahead and read yours out loud.
Dip netters improperly dispose of fish waste.
Ooh.
Guys, keep
Yeah,
going.
go ahead and say the rest.
decrease KP health meter by -1.
You did not save the Kenai Peninsula, but you know what? That's okay, because maybe Bruce has it. Go ahead and read yours out loud.
It's a challenge card. It says ATVs were driven on a foot traffic only trail. Decrease KP health meter by -1.
Huh, so you also didn't help our Kenai Peninsula, but that's okay, you know, because at least we know not to drive our ATVs over there. But let's see if Brad has it.
Yeah, I'm as bad as these guys. River Protector, nonprofit loses funding, decrease KP health meter by -1.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, maybe Ben.
It's a challenge card. Boat leaks fuel into the Kenai River, decrease KP health meter by -1.
Okay. Well, you know, maybe Weston.
Salmon are being overfished in the Cook Inlet. Decrease KP health meter by 2 at the end of each round until resolved.
Okay, well that also is a problem solver. Maybe Greg, come on, you gotta have something.
Major challenge card, a forest fire breaks out in Cooper Landing, decrease KP health meter by 2 at the end of each round until resolved.
Okay, well Greg started a fire, but maybe Hannah can go ahead and solve all of our problems.
I got the steward card. You use buckets from a bucket tree to fully douse your campfire, which increases your KP health meter by 1.
Look at that. Not only did we have 6 problems, but we even got 1 solution, and that's what this game is teaching the kids. So here is Kenai Quest. It's a fun board game, and I'm just gonna go ahead and, you know what? I'm gonna set this down for a sec. So, can you all still hear me pretty well? Here is our map. Pretty cool, right? This is where you live. Or you could live here, or here, hopefully not here. You'd be under the water. And you go ahead and place your characters on this map. My brother, generously, he's 12 years old, he donated his Lego characters as characters, because I didn't have any yet. And how this game works, you go ahead, you roll the dice, whoever gets the highest number goes first, descending order is the next bit. So, how does this game work? Well, what you go ahead and do is you go ahead and place your corresponding characters, which, by the way, this game has special characters for you that are relevant to the Kenai. So, we have our recycling ranger, community helper, forest friend, water protector. We've got a lot of fun characters for you guys, and you can choose from any of them, and then put them on corresponding parts of the map. Now, this is your Kenai Peninsula health meter. Now, for each of you who is like, oh, I started a fire, Greg. Well, this is your health meter. Starts at 7. How do you win the game? Because, I mean, I haven't really told you kind of what the game is or purpose, but how you win the game is you keep the health meter above 5. So, the point of this game, free roam. Go around your squares, make sure that you are learning while you're playing. You go ahead, and the point of the game, challenge cards, you try, they take away your health, you utilize your problem-solving skills to defeat those challenges, and then you use your steward cards. You go around and you find solutions to get rid of these problems because those steward cards will give you rewards and it will up your health on the Kenai Peninsula health meter. Thank you so much.
Judges, questions, please. Hannah.
Really awesome game, by the way. That was super fun. I'm assuming you're probably hoping on selling this board game, and if so, how much is it going to cost?
I don't have the exact price for you right now, but that's also just because prices range so much. But hopefully, you know, when this game gets on the shelves, here's the main purpose of this, right? This game, I want it in schools. Because kids learning is the important part. I want the kids in the schools to be able to learn. So what happens when it gets on the shelves? The revenue from this game goes straight back into those schools on the Kenai Peninsula. So not only are we helping kids be able to learn about the Kenai Peninsula, but we're helping them retain and, you know, stay in schools that will help them learn in general. So that's kind of the economics part of it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Greg, can you think of a lot of adults that need to play this game?
Well, apparently I do, since I started the fire.
Any other questions? Clayton.
Yeah, great idea. I love it. Just the visual appeal of it already just makes me actually want to get one. Have you actually tried this out with any youth or any any young people to,
Well,
or anybody?
I have 3 younger siblings, and so I'm the oldest of 4, and well, my brother beat me, which is why he was willing to give me his Lego characters as little players. But it's really fun, and I think one of the main problems we had to adjust in the game is we're playing and there are too many challenges. But I was just messing with you guys. There's not actually only challenges in there, but the point of it, like, they had fun and they learned, and they honestly, it made them more excited to be able to take care of the peninsula. And they're like, huh, I didn't even know that was a thing. So I even taught my own family something, and they watched me working on this. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, Brad, maybe your board of directors could use some time with doing something.
It is a great idea, and I love all the visuals with it. And to educate the young people, that's what you need, is the visuals to keep their attention. So, great job.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, gamers, let's give her a big round of applause. A lot of work there. Okay, now that we're done playing around, we're going to move to entry number 183. Judges, please mark your computers, 183.
Good evening, judges and audience. I want you all to picture a beautiful summer in Alaska. Wildflowers bloom across open land, berries cluster on shrubs, and bees quietly drift from plant to plant. Now imagine that silence, because that's the future we all risk facing. Pollinators. Bees, butterflies, hummingbirds, and even beetles are all responsible for 1 out of every 3 bites of food we eat. Their absence triggers catastrophic failure, leading to a total loss of biodiversity, functional collapse of habitats, and the breakdown of life-sustaining services. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, over 35% of global food production depends on pollinators. Next slide. But in Alaska, these species are under growing and excruciating pressure. Next slide. Rising temperatures, habitat loss, and reduced plant diversity are making it extremely strenuous for pollinators, especially our native bumblebees, to survive. And this isn't a theoretical concern. This is our very reality. Declining animal populations hinder seed dispersal, threatening plant reproduction and decreasing natural resource availability for our communities. Alaska must act to protect its pollinators, or it faces a future where its ecological legacy and global contribution to natural diversity are permanently diminished. But what if true power lies not in immense efforts, but in manageable local measures? This is precisely where my initiative, Pollinator Packs, comes in. Next slide. Pollinator Packs are budget-friendly, curated collections of Alaska's native plants designed to support our local pollinators. Each kit features a blend of fireweed, lupine, spirea, and service berries. My intention is clear: to empower communities, starting with my own, to convert lawns, schools, and roadsides into thriving pollinator havens. Because here's the truth. Rather than seeking a single solution, effectiveness is better achieved through a multifaceted, synchronized approach through small-scale interventions in the ecosystem. Next slide. Research shows that even small patches of native plants can significantly enhance pollinator populations when spread across a community. When those patches intertwine, they create a lifeline for pollinators to feed, travel, and survive. And this project is not just impactful, it's realistic. Pollinator packs can be produced for an average of $2.55 per unit. That means for just a few dollars, I can empower a household to foster thriving ecosystems. And when multiplied across a town like Homer, those small endeavors become something much, much bigger. A connected, thriving, and pollinator-friendly community. Whether through direct purchase or generous donations, pollinator packs bring people together to fuel this vital initiative. They cultivate awareness, they inspire responsibility, and they reestablish a meaningful connection between people and their environment. Next slide. Now envision this once more. Alaska in the summer. Wildflowers blossoming freely. Bees drifting from plant to plant. Ecosystems recovering. Not because of one major change, but the combined effort of an entire community. Pollinators are vanishing now, collapsing the very foundation of our food and ecosystem. And without immediate action, that silence will become deafening when our futures, our children's futures, our grandchildren's futures are empty, and we continue to doom them all. It's not just a quiet disappearance. It is a rapid collapse that will turn our world silent and hollow. But with pollinator packs, there is a genuine, tangible way to rewrite our future. Next slide. In the end, this project is more than just seeds in a packet. It is hope in motion, and it's a reminder that even the smallest efforts planted in the right place can grow into a lasting legacy. Because to plant a garden is to believe in a better tomorrow for humanity. Thank you for your consideration.
Very nice. Judges, your questions, please. Brad.
Sure. I love your presentation.
Thank you.
Lots of nice graphics. Question, how long is it? Have you looked into how long it takes from the time you spread a packet till it's effective?
So it is different for each plant. I know for sure that fireweed may take a year to fully bloom. It depends on how and where you plant it, and I have instructions on the pollinator packs to get the best outcome.
Thank you.
Bruce.
Yeah, great presentation. I love the way your inflection. You did a great job
Thank you.
of presenting. One question, how do you plan to gather the seeds for the packs?
Yes, so on the papers I gave all of the judges, all of the seeds have links to websites, and all of the seeds are locally sourced, and all of the packaging is eco-friendly, so it's good for the environment.
Greg, go ahead.
Excellent presentation. You scared the hell out of me.
That's the intention.
I'm just curious, are you doing online sales, or would you do any sort of physical sales as well?
Well, I would start off doing physical sales in Homer, and the hope and the intention is to branch out and start selling things online once I generate enough revenue.
Excellent, thank you.
Anybody else? All in? All done? Pollination is really important. So let's give her a big round of applause. Encourage you to carry on with your idea.
Thank you all again.
Coming down the home stretch now, gentlemen, so get your scores all entered in there. And the next score up would be number 261. Please welcome number 261.
Hello, I'm number 261. Almost everyone in this room has gotten into a car this week, maybe even today. Every time we burn fuel, we release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Not all of that carbon dioxide stays there, though. Part of it goes into our ocean. Can you please change the slide? Here in the Kenai Peninsula, that has real consequences. When the ocean absorbs CO2, it lowers the pH levels and makes the ocean more acidic, as shown in this graph. That change in chemistry makes it harder for shellfish like clams, crabs, and oysters to build and maintain their shells. That disrupts the whole food web. When smaller organisms disappear, fish like salmon lose key food sources, and the balance of the ecosystem begins to shift. For a place like the Kenai, where marine life is tied directly to our economy, our culture, and our daily lives, that is a serious problem. But what if we could turn that problem into a solution right here in our own waters? That's exactly what my idea does. Can you please change the slide? I'm proposing that we start a kelp farm on the Kenai Peninsula, a project that doesn't just fight climate change, but also creates our opportunity for our community. And to show that this isn't just theoretical, I've brought examples of kelp products for you today. These represent what this project could produce. They are real, tangible products that you can see, use, and eat. Kelp is one of the fastest growing organisms on Earth. Some species can grow up to a foot per a day under the right conditions. It doesn't just need fresh water, fertilizer, or pesticides. Instead, it pulls carbon dioxide and excess nutrients like nitrogen directly out of the water. That means it actively reduces ocean acidification while also improving water quality. At the same time, kelp farms create habitats for fish, crabs, and other marine life, acting almost like an underwater forest. So, this isn't just seaweed, it's a natural carbon capture system, a water filter, a habitat builder, and a resource all in one. Here's how it would work. Change the slide. I will start with a small pilot farm, about 1 to 2 acres. I would work with scientists, local experts, and organizations like NOAA to identify the best locations based on water temperature, currents, and ecosystem health. Once a site is selected, I will install suspended lines in the water where kelp can grow naturally. To keep the project environmentally responsible, I would use biodegradable ropes and anchors instead of plastic, minimizing long-term impact. This project could also turn into a community thing too. Local schools could get involved by teaching students about kelp and climate change, and even allowing them to participate in planting and harvesting. That creates real hands-on learning experiences and builds a connection between students and their environment. At the same time, this project will collect data such as tracking kelp growth, water pH levels, and carbon absorption to measure its success. If the results are strong, the project could expand into larger community-led farms and even partner with local fisheries to support more sustainable seafood systems. Change the slide. The startup cost for a pilot farm is estimated at about $12,000 to $14,000. That includes equipment like ropes, anchors, permits, labor, and monitoring tools. And while that might seem like a significant amount, the funds could come from grants, nonprofits, local partnerships, and community fundraising. Over time, selling kelp products can help sustain and expand the project too. So, this project is worth investing in because it helps clean the ocean, reduce acidification, and restore marine habitats. And it opens the door to new industries through products like the ones you see here. It also brings the Kenai Peninsula together around a solution that people can actually see and be a part of. Change the slide. So, if you would like to help the ocean that we all love and use, please consider supporting my proposal of starting a kelp farm on the Kenai Peninsula. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, judges, your questions, please. There you go, Weston.
Great presentation. Actually, one of my friends is the founder of Barnacle Seafood, so I'll have to give a good plug that you're utilizing it. Question for you, just kind of how diverse the coastline is of Kenai. Do you find there's certain areas where kelp farms would be more productive than others, and how do you account for that in terms of your planning?
So what I've looked into is areas such as bays And smaller inlets would be better because some of the currents and stuff aren't quite as strong as like out in the central area.
Thank you.
Next question, please. Go ahead, Clayton.
Yeah, thank you. Great idea. I love it. You had me with the the candy bar here. So, but have you had any experience personally with a kelp farm or being around one or working on one?
No, I have not. I have not been at a kelp farm, but I have, like all of us, been on the beach a lot, and I know quite a bit about kelp.
Brad?
Sure, great job. And since I grew up on a dairy farm, when you mentioned nitrogen, it caught my attention because have you given a thought to, in addition to food products, using kelp for fertilizer?
Yes, I have. It would make pretty good fertilizer, and it can be used across many different plants.
And any other questions from our judging panel? Not seeing any. Let's give her a big round of applause. Good job. I like seaweed. I like to eat seaweed. Well, I'll get one later. Thank you. We're coming down the home stretch right now. We're up to our final two. The next number for our judges to enter in their computers is 145. Number 145, judges, and let's welcome her to the stage.
Hello everyone, we are group number 145 and we are going to start with the demonstration. My partner here is kayaking in a beautiful Alaskan lake. She stumbles upon some sort of weed floating in the water. What's this? That's Elodia. Switch slides. See what she did there? She threw it back in the lake. She didn't know what the word Elodia meant.
We are going to change that. It's important that people understand what to do when they encounter an invasive species.
Like Elodia. When I went home and told my dad about our project, he stared at me blankly and asked me what Elodia was.
That's what my parents did, and I bet that's what you did too. And that's exactly what makes our project so important.
Elodia spreads quickly if you don't take the proper precautions.
Just start talking. Okay. Stop talking. Okay, take a look at the bucket we have in front of you.
The container filled with water and oregano represents Crescent Lake, the only lake left on the Kenai Peninsula with a known Elodia infestation. When the plant lands in this lake, those flakes that represent Elodia seeds stick to it. Now as she goes to pick up the plane, take a look at the bottom. That shows how easily a Elodia can stick. Now as she puts it in the other lake, watch how it spreads. Those flakes from the floats will then spread into the other lake and start a whole new infestation. Elodia can spread easily, but it's also easy to prevent the spread of. Switch slides. By using clean, drain, dry, you can keep our lakes free of any aquatic hitchhikers like Elodia.
Not enough people know about the preventative measures they should be taking.
Boot brushes are another overlooked preventative measure. Switch slides.
Most trailheads actually provide them for you to use before and after using a trail.
But even if they're not there, it's still important for you to clean your shoes.
With these portable boot brushes, you're able to clean off any seeds that may have stuck to your soles of your shoes, even after not having a boot brush be provided.
Not enough people know about these things or use them frequently enough, which is why we're basing our project around raising invasive species awareness.
By bringing attention to invasive species, we're able to teach people about what to do when they encounter invasive species and how to prevent the spread.
Our project first started with a focus on Alodia, and although still taking charge with that, we want to make all invasive species a priority. Switch slides.
Pike is another one of Alaska's harsh invasive species that people should know about.
Switch slides. Northern pike are apex predators in freshwater ecosystems. Fish and Game has relentlessly been fighting against them, but are constantly a reinvasion threat.
Alodia and pike work together, and if we allow them to thrive, the dangers and side effects could only multiply.
These are just 2 of the many invasive species in our community.
Those booklets that we passed out at the beginning, those are for you guys to take on your next adventure. You can go ahead and pass those invasive species resin samples around now to take a closer look.
We got those samples and booklets from Fish and Wildlife Services to help us show you what invasive species are present in our community. To do our part and prevent the spread of all these invasives, we created an outreach program called See It, Stop It.
See It, Stop It is a program that helps us reach all aspects of our community's audience.
This includes booths at community events, social media posts, and things like handing out flyers to elementary school kids.
I'm sure you've noticed, but social media is many people's main concern and source of information nowadays.
The organizations that we've reached out to have booths at the Wednesday market and the sports show where our posters, you can go to the next slide. Next one, sorry. Where our posters will be displayed. This way, when people are walking by, they can easily see how invasive species are present in our community and could take over and what they can do to stop it.
One of our partners helped us, allowed us to create a Facebook post that we could put up on their website focused around See It, Stop It. Another thing we want to do is hand out posters and speak in elementary schools that would help these kids talk to their parents about what they can do to head into summer with a better outlook towards our lakes and how they can keep them clean.
Sure, posters are a great start to See It, Stop It, but our largest portion of our project is our website. Next slide. We've created a website called See It, Stop It, and there you will see that it has all the information you need. It gives you the most threatening invasive species in Alaska, along with what to do when you encounter them.
It's important for the community to know what's going on. That's why we focused our project around raising awareness.
The more people know how to prevent the spread of invasive species, the less they will spread.
Although invasive species like Alodia may seem out of our control, they're really not. We can make a difference.
Protecting our lakes starts with awareness, and this is where awareness starts.
Thank you for listening. We're ready for questions now.
Thank you, girls. Ellen, if you have the red side pointed toward the kids, maybe they would see the difference. Then, okay. Questions from the judges? Brad.
Nice job, ladies. And one quick question I have is, how did Alodia get eliminated from the other lakes except Crescent?
KPBSD has a whole chemical elimination process that they've gone through with many other lakes in our community, and they're treating Crescent Lake this summer. They have a whole plan in place that we were lucky enough to come across this project just in time to finish the end of it.
We've also joined Zoom meetings, and we've seen how they're eliminating it with the chemicals, and we've tried to learn as much as we could about that.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Weston.
Great research, great project. It's you see kind of the damage Alodia has done in Lake Hood and other places. It's staggering, and I like how you broadened your project out. Have you thought about, for addressing the pike, maybe writing the state about putting a bounty on it or putting money out there in case anglers want to go after them and clean them up that way?
We've looked into a lot of things like eliminating invasive species, but the more we researched eliminating them, the more we realized that prevention is the best way to stop these things, because it costs a lot more to eliminate things than it does to prevent the spread. There was a chart that we got from Ben Wishnek with Fish and Wildlife Services that explained and showed the entire thing with the graphic.
Good point. Judges, any final questions? All in, all done. Big round of applause for something we all need to participate in, for sure.
Thank you.
Now we're down to our final contestant of the top 12. And then we will be interviewing the judges for a little while as the scores are all tabulated, and we'll bring the winners out on stage and announce where they placed tonight. And as I emphatically have been saying for 35 years, every one of these kids, regardless of where they place, is a winner. They will have something on their resume that no other high school student in the country will have. If they go on and pursue their ideas, our community is going to be a better place. So stick around if you can, and please welcome number 12, number 76, entry number 76, please.
Okay, I am number 76. So many nights ago, I would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, hoping, searching for an idea for caring for the Kenai. I felt the weight of it. My mind wandered through the Alaskan wilderness, through our oil fields, and through our glaciers, but it always came back to a cold, sharp fear of mine. My fear of fire. Then, finally, with my head against the pillow, I really saw what laid above me, a relic from 1902, a small plastic disc, a smoke detector, and it hit me like a physical blow. This cannot be the solution to our modern day crisis. We are using 20th century technology to fight a 21st century monster. I am terrified of fire, and I am not ashamed to admit it. But understand me, it is not the heat that I fear. Next slide. It is the erasure. Our homes are our relics. It is the vessel where we hold our family, our history, and our fortune. Fire isn't just a thief that takes your things, it takes your memories. One wandering flame, and everything you've ever loved is reduced to one weightless ash. And it may sound like being dramatic, but look at what is at stake beyond our front doors. Fire is an assault on the Kenai itself. When our homes burn, the Kenai, it bleeds, and we've seen it. Forests turn into pillars of black bone, the sky being choked until our mountains vanish, and it is deeper than the trees. Every house fire is a cocktail of poisons. Plastic, lead, treated lumber, all melted into one poisonous runoff, and when it leaches into our soil and runs into our streams, it affects our community, our tourism, our wildlife, and the very water we drink. And that smoke detector sitting there, doormat, waiting for the enemy to already be inside, and when the sirens finally scream, we've already lost. We have been reactive for hundreds of years, and it is time to be proactive. How? That is a question I asked myself so long ago, so I introduce to you, next slide, Raven. Think of a guardian that never blinks, a sentinel that doesn't wait for the breath of fire. Raven, it watches, it exists in the light, waiting for the first flicker of a fire's destruction. Or a normal smoke detector is like someone who can only pronounce an issue once the room is full of smoke. Frankly, it's unreliable. Raven, it's an eye. It's a high-definition camera connected to a digital brain. Inside this brain, there's a powerful Python program paired with an AI. And they use something, next slide, called HSV color analysis. Wait, next slide. Whoa. Next slide again. Next, HSV color analysis, hue, saturation, and value, components to visually see a fire. It ignores everything and all the noise of the world and hunts for the true jagged colors of an inferno. And it knows the difference between a sunset and the end of a home. This is how, by detecting the flame itself, we stop being victims. We get visual confirmation, we get the truth delivered to our phones before the first puff of smoke even hits the ceiling. We provide the one thing fire tries to steal: time. This is how we save the Kenai. This is how we stop the fire before it spreads to the brush, before the toxins leak into our water. And this isn't just a concept. Next slide. I've already secured a sponsor by Serenity Home Care that sees a level of urgency for this in our community. This prototype, or I should say the final result, can be placed in every home for about $100. That is the price of security. That is the price of a future that does not burn. And that is the price of Raven. Remote artificial visual inferno notification. Next slide. I took a video today and it corrupted, so you're just gonna have to listen to what I say. I held a contest in my living room. I had a high-end commercial smoke detector and I held it 4 feet above a fire. The fire was basically that far away. And Raven, not to be biased, was at a disadvantage. The AI was confused between the light glaring through the window, so I timed it. The smoke detector took 2 minutes and 39 seconds to detect the fire was even a threat. Raven took under 4 seconds. Where am I? Okay, I'm not here to sell you a dream. And to be honest, looking back at this pitching idea, reviewing these notes each night before I sleep, I see the stake of the world. We're still using a 130-year-old piece of plastic to protect the people that we love, and I cannot tell you how ill this is. Again, fire is a problem that has costed the Kenai $46 million in damages. The Kenai is at stake, and Raven isn't just an idea, it's a solution. A solution is something that's haunted my life and many generations before me. I'm not here to tell you the potential, I'm here to tell you the actuality of it, and that is Raven. The question Raven has for you is, how much do you care?
Anybody want to answer that question, or should we get questions from the judge? Let's take questions from the judges. Hannah, did I see you with a question?
Say it, I care.
Yeah, okay. Greg?
You know, I don't really have a question right off the bat, other than I am curious about cost. Is this a single purchase for a household? Is it a room by room thing like a smoke detector is?
It would be a room by room thing, and it also can be used for outside. Raven can see about half an acre. I would say it's $100 right now, and that's the final product. It will be cheaper if it does get mass produced.
Gotcha. One other thing is I have someone that you definitely need to talk to locally, so we'll talk after this.
Sounds good.
Clayton, do I see a question there?
Yeah, so you created Raven.
I did.
And you actually tested it.
Oh, wait. Sorry, I forgot this. This is the prototype. It's not very beautiful, but that's Raven. The code was done by myself, and everything else was. I invented Raven, yeah. There is something on the market that costs $2,000. It's not made for homes, it's made for outside. But I don't see people putting a $2,000 product in their house. That's just me, though.
Weston, question.
Yeah, thank you. That was probably the most poetic TED Talk I've ever seen. It was very well done.
Yeah.
My question is, have you shown this prototype and that concept to fire science professionals, and kind of what has their reaction been?
I did, not in Alaska. It was in India, in the capital. And I'm sure me and Brad can agree. The electrical system in India is not the best. And they wanted Raven, or I said they should use Raven to watch their wiring system, because a smoke detector can't be outside. And the reaction was to buy it. I said no, obviously. Now Raven is in the process of getting a patent, but they tried to buy it. So I think they thought it was a good idea.
Brad, final question.
Yeah, great job. And one quick question is, when Raven detects a flame, does it have an alarm go off?
It does, yeah.
Okay.
And it also sends a notification to your phone. And once there is a total confirmation from you in the app, it will send a message to the fire department.
Okay, thank you.
All in, all done. Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now the part of the program that I really like the best, because I get to ask questions of our judges. Now, that being said, because Weston is here for the first time, and he's also got a plane to catch at 8:55. So, Weston, I'm going to start. Go ahead and finish your scores, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit and ask you about your impressions for tonight. But while he's doing that, I just want to say this is only 12. There's 350 other ideas of kids that participated in this program that are thinking, that are working, that are doing the same type of thing. When we think of education and the teachers that work with these kids and what the kids come up with their creativity, I think we need a big round of applause for the whole Kenai Peninsula Borough School District. What do you say? You ready to talk to me, Weston?
Sure, Merrill. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Hilcorp has been one of our community partners that have helped make the cash prizes that we're putting in the schools as well as in these kids' pockets here tonight. And while a state championship basketball team gets a plastic trophy and a blown-out knee when they're my age, they're not going to be climbing stairs. What did you think of tonight's program?
Well, Merrill, thank you for doing this, and congratulations on 36 years of caring for Kenai. It's a wonderful event and legacy for this community. And I think what we heard this evening, just the caliber and the quality of youth that we have in this community is just remarkable. And it's not just their articulation, it's their creativity, it's their passion and that zeal for it. And that is really inspiring and gives you great hope to what we can expect in the community and for the future of Alaska. And just very happy to be a part of it.
Well, thank you. And thank you for coming in when all the major producers left, and keep the oil and gas coming and these type of programs continuing in our great state of Alaska. I'll let you either stay to see where the kids place tonight, if you agree with your judges, or I'm going to let you go early so that you won't miss your plane, whatever you choose.
Well, thank you, Merrill. I will stay as long as I can, and happy to be here, and congratulations on a great event.
Okay. Now, let's go to your partner over here. It's also his first time here, even though he's the third generation of Caring for the Kenai family supporters. Greg, the first time you sat and had to actually score these kids, how was that?
It's a tough job. There's a lot of great ideas out there, especially the ones that we saw today. And looking at my scores, there's not a large gap necessarily between a lot of these kids. Very impressive.
I agree. That's why I never do any judging. Clayton, you've been here before. You helped us immensely. You've got some of the best people, I think, in the whole country working for your school district. They don't get enough recognition. Some of the teachers are here tonight, but you know me. I get to work with some of these teachers and these kids, and I couldn't be prouder. What did you think of tonight's presentations?
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible tonight. I'm actually a little emotional thinking about it, because what our kids are doing, what our staff are doing is amazing. And we live in this time where there's a group of people who are very negative about education, about things that happen. And I come here and I think they absolutely have no idea what's happening. And you see that right on the stage. So just a big thanks to all of our teachers, our staff. I have a principal that came up from Homer here today, and the folks helping put this together tonight too. But just very appreciative and impressed by what I saw.
I totally understand the emotion, because what was created to be a one-year program 36 years later, because, again, of the energy industry and the people who saw that this is a transition of education and that they want to support it, and kept stepping up and doing it year after year. So, Bruce, you're in a turnaround. You've got 1,000 contractors out there working the same. These kids are probably future employees of you. And why do you keep supporting this program? What do you think about it?
Merrill, Marathon is super proud to be a part of this program. This is one of our flagship investments that we commit to every year. And these kids are why. And you saw it up here today. I saw 12 groups of kids step up and do things that I couldn't do when I was their age. So they are definitely our future leaders, and they're worth every bit of investment that we put into them.
Makes you feel real good, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And all those guys that are out there working now, 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week, tell them thank you,
Yeah, they're working hard. I'm sure a lot of them would like to be here. I think we got a couple of them behind me that are here. They probably have a 4 a.m. alarm clock waiting for them, just like I do.
Brad, you head up our community-owned HEA, Homer Electric Association. Ideas for energy, ideas for alternate things. They thought, when we originally thought this, how many ideas can you have to improve the environment? And yet now, with 36 years, I've never seen a year that there hasn't been something original, never thought of before, that's come to our hearing. How does that make you feel as the chief CEO of our HEA?
It feels great. It's great seeing all the kids, and like Bruce said, they're doing stuff I couldn't have done in high school. And one of the things I tell my kids is, when they got out of school, when you're interviewing for a real job, get rid of your phone, because you're probably going to get interviewed by an old guy or a gal like myself, and they have, and it's great to see these kids and their ability to speak in public. And there's a lot of pressure on them, especially with these lights, and they can't necessarily see the audience. So it's great to see them up on stage without a phone, and their ability to communicate.
I'm expecting you're going to shave your mustache and donate it for the new oil-absorbent mats?
Probably not.
Probably not? Ben, how about you? You got any extra hair you want to donate?
Well, I think this is my fourth year doing this, and I'm always amazed at the ideas they come up with. And it's a privilege to be here and listen to it. But one thing I think we overlook is the amount of time that Merrill puts into this, and we ought to give him a hand for 36 years of caring for the Kenai.
Thank you. But after I'm composting, I want to be sure this program is going on and the kids in our school district still have these opportunities to think and create and learn how to be creative and the profit that comes from the idea and why they're going to school. How are we coming, Hadassah?
Thank you.
Good.
We're getting close? Okay.
Does everyone have their scores in?
I haven't talked to Hannah yet. Hannah, last year you were up here, you were doing the dreaded oral presentation, and then lo and behold, you were number 1. Now, tell me how that felt.
Oh my gosh, I blacked out. I don't remember a lot of it. Honestly, it was a blur between the judges asking me questions and then you asking me questions about how I felt about winning, and I was like, yeah, this is great. This is me. Oh my gosh. No,
now,
it was
is it
amazing.
easier sitting there, scoring the kids, or being up here on stage?
It was definitely more nerve-wracking to be doing the actual presentations. It's like I got a little anxious watching them up there doing their presentations.
Now, I understand that Senator Bjorkman, who's chair of the resource committee, asked you about the research that you have done. Tell me a little bit about that.
Are you talking about since I got my project done or just the general whole project itself?
Yes.
Okay, well, for those of you who don't know, I won last year's King for the Kenai with my project to create a modified thermal asphalt mix that eliminates the usage of using road brine by using a material called graphene nanoplatelets, which have these heating additives in them which not only heat asphalt in the winter, but also cool it in the summer, which removes having to use salt brine on the road. Since then, I've gone to multiple different interviews with people. I got to do interviews with it was the Kenai radio. I went to the state senate recently in March, and I got to be a guest page for the Senate, and I got to discuss with Senator Yorkman and a couple of the senators about my project, and they were really excited about it, and hopefully by 2030, which I discussed with Graphite One, I hopefully maybe should be partnering up with them and able to actually implement this mix onto the roads.
Now, as a high school student, how does it feel to have a state legislator and a committee at the legislature asking you about the ideas and the research that you've done?
It's kind of unbelievable. I mean, I never really saw myself, like my freshman year, winning a contest like this and, you know, having so much of my life changed. It's a big step from like going from homeschool to going into high school and then winning a contest and becoming partially famous in Alaska and then going to the Senate. It's honestly amazing and it changed my life a lot. This contest has changed my life.
What are your plans for the future?
I hope to go to college. I'm not sure where yet, but I am trying to get scholarships to go to college to become a psychologist, which has been my dream ever since I was little. I've always been into brains and science like that.
Well, thank you for coming tonight. We're really proud of you. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Samantha, are we ready to start announcing our runners up first? 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, the advancement of technology has truly been amazing. And from Greg's dad, who used to be behind the curtain running a 10 key, which he's very good at, by the way, to now everything being done by AI. And what do we call it? Where's Hadassah? I'm totally dependent on them to do this. And it's with great intrepidation that I wonder how it all is going to come together. But, you know, the astronauts who came back from Artemis II said something that, to me, is almost more meaningful than what Neil Armstrong said when he stepped on the moon, that that's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. But these astronauts talked about a crew and what they had learned in going farther in the space than any human has ever been before, and coming back on a 10-day journey, was that they realized the Earth is a crew, that they work together, that they are together, that they slept together and peed together and did everything together in that small capsule. And now they're back on Earth just 10 days later, and their press conference was filled with Earth is a crew. And when I bring that down to the microcosm of our community and caring for the Kenai is a crew, okay? And everybody here is a member of that crew. And together, we can do a lot of great things. Are you ready? Is that why you kicked me?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a shirt. Give me a shirt. Well, yeah, our runner's up. And you're working your way. This is like Miss America.
Then present yourself.
Here I am. Okay, we only designate for giving out of the cast the top 6, and everybody else is a runner-up. But as I'm going to say it again, every one of these kids is a true winner. So we're going to give a big round of applause, and we're going to bring out Lily Teets, first of all, who goes to school at Kenai Central High School. Miss Davis is her teacher, and she has had many winners in this program. For her idea about wildlife habitat protection, she walks away with $500 that she'll be presented with on May 2nd when we return to the theater. Come on out, Lily. I should have said, come on down. Here. And you're going to stay up on stage for some photo ops afterwards. But here is your shirt.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next we have our next runner-up. You can go over there to stage right. Dr. Brzezinski, known as Dr. B over at So High, Sierra Stuyvesant wins $500 for her idea on K-Beach recycle of fish waste. Come on down, Sierra, or out, Sierra, or wherever you are. Come on up and claim your new shirt. I'll tell you what, to expedite things, why don't we have all of the finalists come here, and as I call your name, you can come on up, and that way you won't have to get up from your seat and walk all the way over there. There you go. Thank you. Wait, where? Okay. Next was number 163, $500 go to Kylie Bedouin. Am I saying that right? From Homer High School, Mr. Steineff's teacher. Mr. Steineff is here tonight, so we applaud him as well as present you with your shirt. Congratulations. Her idea on the Kenai River waste. Our next runner-up is also Mr. Steineff's student, Griffin Berg, waste management. Griffin, congratulations. Great job. And tire recycling now. Remember we say it's what can I do, invent, create, or improve? Okay? And that's exactly what Hannah Weiser from Homer High School had with her idea of recycling tires on the Kenai Peninsula. Hannah. Good job. Okay, and now our final runner-up is Maureen Langston, also from Homer High School, Mr. Steineff's student. He had 6 finalists in the top 12 this year, and that's not easy to accomplish. Pollinator packs, that is an idea that's really great, needed, and come on up, Maureen. Am I saying that right?
It's Maureen.
I never get it right. Now, moving up the pay scale to a prize of $750 also from Mr. Steineff's class down in Homer High School, Dayton Van Ostrand. Congratulations. Her idea, kelp on the Kenai. Not help, but kelp, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to eat that candy bar. That looks good. And coming in 5th place, going up the payday to $850, on how to kill a hitchhiking Elodia, the team of Molly Santona and Macy Miller. Miss Davis from Kenai Central High School. One for each of you.
Thank you.
Okay. And now, in fourth place, winner of $1,000 cash award, Abigail Sorrell with her board game, Dr. B's student, environmental board game. What a beautiful job you did, AJ. And now, moving up the scoreboard to $1,100 in rewards is another team, Indigo Leslie, Ellie Rodriguez from Seward High School, Dr. Aaron Pierce's students, absorbent mats from Pet Hair. What an original idea. You both get a shirt. Thank you very much. And I hope to see that at Sweeney's sometime. Okay? Yes, sir. In second place, the winner of $1,300, Mr. Stein's Yosef El Dali. I hope I'm saying that right, Yosef. Come on up. His idea about the Raven for natural disaster preparedness. What creative idea. Good job, man. That brings us to this year's winner. Splitting $2,000, Dr. Aaron Pierce students from Seward High School, Leo Nip and Noah Flowers from Seward High, their pheromones to neuter the bark beetles. Spay those beetles. I'm going to have to go all the way over to Seward again to get that trophy back. That's a returning compliment. Congratulations. Okay, let's all give them a big round of applause. I'm going to get my camera because I need a group shot. I thought you had